Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S.S, and we are here with another installment of more interviews, aka memoirs of our real experiences. And for today's interview, I am grateful and I'm glad and honored to interview a longtime friend and brother that I've known, as well as a great musician and a very smart intellectual by the name of Chris Mallett. And yo, I'm looking straight forward to this interview because shouts out to Chris Mallett again. This is the brother. He's one of the few, if not, he's the first person to actually interview me when it came to me sharing my music. So it have to do justice and return the favor. So with that, before the brother comes in, which shouts out to the brother in here already, Chris Mallett Music in the building, I gotta write and read off this again. It's intro for him. So here we go. Chris Mallett is a singer-songwriter from Los Angeles, known for his heartfelt indie pop and alternative hip-hop songs. In 2021, Chris released his sophomore album, Keep Going, about continuing to go after what you believe in regardless of life changes. Currently based in Phoenix, AZ, Chris continues to create and release music. And with that, y'all, Chris Mallett Music in the building, my man. Yo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, for having me. Warm intro. We go way back, man. We go way back. It's crazy.
I'm glad that we somehow was able to, reconnect after such a
Right.
long time. So
Same. Yeah, same, man.
so it's been great. It's man. But shoot, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a good day, productive day. Um, I'm feeling good, you know. Let's see. Yeah, just moving, moving, moving. And I'm present in the moment. Glad to be here. And yeah, because we were in kindergarten together. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We go back M.O.O.R.E days. People know M.O.O.R.E days. It's not Mrs. That's Mary Jean over here, all right?
Right. Oh
You
man, now you
know,
got to do one of your acronyms, a play on MRS, a play on.
that is very true. Watch randomly. Who knows? It might happen during the interview or later on. But there you go.
Yeah.
Oh man. But shoot, y'all. Again, this is another installment of more interviews, and today we have Chris Mallett here with us again. Such a longtime friend, great brother, and singer-songwriter. So I'm excited to have him and excited to end up this at M.O.O.R.E Tobias. What are the days? Yo, oh my goodness. Oh, those were the days he meant to say. Oh man. Who Iran? No, Iran. Not. I don't know what you talk about, but okay. With that, if y'all want to go check out the brother Chris Mallett, please go and not only follow on Instagram. If you're here on Instagram right now, you can click up on there and it says Chris Mallett Music. If not, later on Instagram, YouTube, y'all can find him. I will put all the links and things available for Spotify, all those different links, so y'all can get connected with the brother. But with that, before we start, do you have any questions, concerns, or things you want to share with all of us before we start?
Let's see. Questions, concerns. Nothing comes to mind. Nothing comes to mind. Questions, concerns. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, you mentioned that more. It's a layered name. Do you want to go into the naming of the the podcast series, the interview series?
Yes. Man, look at, of course, he being goofy right now. Chris, remember you
Yeah, I get
cheating
out of
off
here.
my spelling test in first grade? Man, Iran, you in, bruh. Man, but shouts out to Iran podcast studio. I'm on that network, on the Ranchers network with Lyrics and Stephanie Gale for our podcast on Sundays called Random Thoughts. Y'all can check that out too, because it is random as heck. It definitely lives up to his name. I'm gonna tell you that for sure. But look it, you already see the brothers asking me questions, so you already know he just gets in the mode to asking the question. So to answer it, brother. The whole idea of more interviews came from the let's say demand, but a few people were really asking me to, yo, you do have really good questions, and honestly, brother, like I want to share this and this, or I want to be able to get this out to people, and I think you'll be a great person that will interview me, interview us. So why don't you do it, man? Like think of something, like come up with it, and let's make the platform.
Right.
So it was during the time I took my break back around, was that like end of August, no, end of September. Yeah, end of September. And during that time, I was just like, yo, I'm not gonna turn it into what's the word? I'm not gonna turn it and put it into any of these other places. What can I come up with? So of course, I love acronyms. Y'all know by now, my name is an acronym. But more interviews, really, what is the core essence of what I was wanting to get at when it comes to the interviews? That's learning about your experiences, whether if we are going here to promote your music or promote your brand, art, whatever it may end up being, but to get some memoirs, what you've written, what you've already experienced, to share that out to people. So, hence the name Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. And since I'm a MC, it's a play on a word of a more, as well as play on the word more, as in the Moorish people as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so there's a few layers to it, but again,
Yeah,
that's where
definitely.
more interviews came from. So shouts out to the brothers O3 Snake, as well as the brothers Zachariah and Black Skin. So shout outs to all of them. So thank y'all.
Okay. Yeah, and I love, yeah, like the history of, well, well, both. I mean, the Moors of, um, Northern Africa, but then also like the Moors that, were escaping slavery and
Yeah,
those communities too. So yeah, love the name. And then also when you promote it, it's like we got more interviews coming, so
exactly.
it's like there's plenty more coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Once it comes and it makes sense and it sticks, you always gotta have something to catch the
Yeah,
people.
right.
So that's something to be like, oh, so more interviews? Are you gonna have more of them? Yes, I am gonna have more of them. This is
Yeah,
more interviews.
certain.
Uh but yeah, y'all. Anything else, brother?
No, no. Yeah, I'm set. Yep. Thanks.
All right, all right. With that, y'all, let's go ahead. We're gonna get this interview on the way. All right. So, Chris, for those who are experiencing you for their first time and
Right, right.
don't know who you may be and who you are, can you please give us a background about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. Originally from the Los Angeles area. Um, yeah, singer-songwriter, so I write songs, sing, play guitar, piano. Um, Let me see. Yeah, the songs are known to be really like relatable to people about like life, about moving forward, and I have a soothing voice, so it also like calms people down and like kind of eases people's anxiety. So if people want to listen to some soothing, relatable songs, then I'm your guy. I'm your guy.
Boom. Y'all got it. Y'all hear it. And I mean, for those folks right now, what are you currently getting yourself into right now?
Yes. So yeah, right now, just I'm putting out songs like song after song after song, and yeah, put out like an album in 2017, 10 songs, and I put out like a project last year as well that was seven, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna see what happens when I put out just a bunch of singles, and those kind of lead up. I think I'm gonna just group them together as like the third album. Um,
Okay.
not like arrange them into a narrative, but I'm experimenting in that way. So I tend to, it's like a singer songwriter, acoustic singer songwriter style, but then there's some, like more hip hop songs on there. And I'm trying to go more into like soul as well. So I'm like trying to study the soul genre and emulating those sounds too. Yeah.
Yes. And if y'all haven't checked out, he's done two inspired songs. I know one of them for me. I thought it was Stevie Wonder, but it was Ray Charles.
Oh,
So y'all gotta go
okay.
check out that one. She's so
Yeah.
bad, isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yep.
And there's a number of stuff y'all are gonna Y'all gonna see when y'all go check that stuff out. But for sure, with that, brother, next question is because I want to know too. Because then again, like I said, I've known you. We've known each other for a long while. So now
Right,
I
right,
really want to know because during the times we was in elementary school,
right.
I was experiencing some similar things where I
Mhm.
decided to start creating and doing things. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta you gotta tell me, man, when did you begin creating music and
Mhm.
rhymes?
Right, yeah, and we probably have some overlap. When I was um, like 7, I started piano lessons, and it was a lot of like learning, more classical songs. And
Mm.
then around like 12, 13, I started learning more music theory. So I wrote my first song when I was 12, and um, let me see, I wrote two more when we were in high school. Let's see, wait, were we in? Like,
Oh,
did
so
you
you
do
thinking a year?
confirmation?
Oh no, because I wasn't. So I'm not Catholic. So or when I
Okay,
was at that
okay.
time, I wasn't Catholic, even though I went to a
Okay.
Catholic school. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, um, when I was in confirmation, I wrote some songs. I wrote some songs in confirmation. Well, not like not
That's
during the
funny.
class.
Yeah. Oh,
That came off. That came off different. But no,
he's like, man, well, what we learning in confirmation? Nah, shoot, I'm
no,
getting
no,
to
no,
this
no.
writing.
Not
Shoot,
right.
she's the only one I need. Yeah, I ain't worried
Right.
about this. I was playing. I was playing.
Yeah, yeah. No, not during the classes, but there was a retreat, and then I performed one of the songs, and like everyone was like cheering, and it was an awesome experience because I was like 14, 15, and it was like one of the first. It was cool to have people I know just like really excited to hear me perform, and I was like playing piano and
Mm,
singing. So that was one of the first experiences. So that's when I really started. I think I also in that time being in high school, the whole like concept of like writing songs was really intriguing to me. I thought it was this like magical process. I didn't know how to do it, and I
yeah.
thought it was. I thought every songwriter was like lightning in a bottle. Like inspiration just struck, and you're lucky to even make a song or something,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to be some like important person with like overseers to be able to sign off to make the song real. And um, so yeah, like in college I got a book and I was studying the songwriting craft and process, and was studying songs I really like. So then I got more and more into it, and yeah, I feel like I have a good grasp on being able to write a song when I want to, essentially, and being able to
Mm.
dig and do that. So, and sometimes I forget that back then I didn't even I thought it was like some magical thing. So, and I mean it still is, but
Yeah.
I know how to do it. I thought it was like something that you had to be I don't know, like it was like a rare thing. Yeah.
We had to have some type of status or be, known to be able to have those resources to do so.
Right. Right.
But it seemed like so you learned, you got your structure, you learned, from that book as well as best way to do that too is just create
Right.
songs
Right.
and put them out. And you
Yeah.
learn your process, and you learn, quote unquote, what hits and what doesn't, or different
Right.
concepts and all of that, those core foundations for
Mhm.
songwriting.
For sure, for sure. And I think
Yeah.
another thing I could say is the first songs that I was doing, there's like consistency where it was like an indie song where it was like the kids, like MGMT, like da,
Okay.
da, 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 da. And then it was like a Swayze song, and back like in LA, like the he was buzzing all over me. So
Yep.
that's like an alternative hip hop, but it was still like that was one of the first songs I learned. So kind of like the hip hop, and then um, the indie as well. So kind of keeping those consistent too. But, yeah.
Okay. Hey, I haven't heard Swayze or I haven't heard either one of those two in a while. My goodness.
Right, for sure. Yeah,
Man,
they were of that time. Yeah.
let you know how old we are playing. And we ain't with that
Right.
old yet to say that they say that phrase yet. I'm just playing. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. Um, but along with that, brother, with the process and starting after certain points in time and figuring out you know, how magical it can be to yourself and being able to form and get the support from, you know, close ones and, you know, and fam. I want to know a little bit more, bro. I know we, again, as kids, but again, you go home, I go home. We don't know what happens
Right.
after that. So, who was Chris as a child growing up?
Definitely, definitely. And if I'm being too vague or something, just let me know. Like, ask the follow up question or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You good, brother. And again, and if the questions don't make sense, I'll reiterate them as well as if it's something you're not comfortable with, just let me know.
okay, all right, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so as a kid, I think, um, yeah, we were both, you know, smart kids, and um, I think I was, you know, reserved and timid, shy, um, and I think I always wanted to be kind to other kids.
Yeah.
So let me see, like, so around, you know, I did sports, you know, at school and outside of school. I was also in like the scouts as well. So like outside
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, Maria Regina, I would be, you know, doing scouts like camping trips and hikes and stuff like that. That was really fun. I love that. And yeah, I think, you know, as well being in nature um, kind of centered me and grounded me
Mm.
in a great way. And it was peaceful. And on those camping trips, the other scouts, we would be playing guitar together and like freestyling together and stuff like that. So that was really fun as well. And you know, always
Mm.
fun that you know musical creation. Um, our friend Esteban and Chris, you might remember them. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so they were my neighbors. So we were actually in a band together and like a garage band, and I was the keyboardist in that band.
You garage band the program or in a garage band or
We were
garage
like
band the
literally in a
game?
garage. We were in a garage jamming. So that was a lot of fun. So that was yeah. So we would just like be jamming, and that felt magical to me. Like we had a lot of chemistry musically in terms of like our improvisations. Um, so that was an amazing time in my life, and also motivated me as well to like keep pursuing that feeling. Um, let me see. I also skateboarded. You know, I know you skated too. So when
Yeah.
I'd go home and skate, yeah.
Oh, see, I'm looking. Man, we never got to have a session together,
We
man.
did. We didn't, man.
Dang.
That's too bad. I
Oh
know.
man.
Right. Yeah. So I love skating. Like I would, yeah, be skating a lot outside my, you know, on my street. So I was busting, you know, ollies. I think the heel flips was my signature, you know, move, pop shove it's.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, the street stuff. Also, you know, loved Roddy Mullen, so I'd be doing like the
Yep.
handstands on the board and like um kind of standing up sideways on the board and stuff. So I was kind of, it was that style. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, Mr. Yeah, like off the ground, freestyle, everything, man.
Hey.
Ronnie Mullen was crazy. So is Day One Song. Shouts out to
Oh, right,
both of
right.
them.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh. For
shoot, as
sure.
well as freaking Kareem Campbell, if I'm
Oh,
correct.
that's familiar.
That's
That's
the
a
brother.
familiar name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The face isn't coming, but that's a
Yes.
familiar name. Hey, let me see. That's how okay. That's how the
Oh,
yeah, the
great
80s
80s
movies,
movies.
80s movies, yeah, in the garage. For sure.
Look at that. Shouts out to my cousin and Cuzzo, prolific hands in the building right now.
Yes.
I had that vision when you were saying that, when y'all was in literally in a garage band, like in the
Right, right.
garage. That's what I started thinking of, a dang movie. I'm like, what movie does this sound like? But that's freaking dope.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, shout out as well. Well, I know well Prolific Hands, I think he did your logo, right? You know, so
yes,
yeah,
yes,
so talented guy. But yeah, shout out to, you know, Esteban as well because well, yeah, for one, I've always thought it was cool, like people that play piano and guitar. So
yeah.
I've been taking piano lessons for like I took piano lessons for 5 years, and then I had wanted to learn guitar since I was maybe even like 7, so probably around the time I started piano. Um,
Mm,
and then so I was in the band, um, and I told because Esteban was the guitarist, and I told Esteban like, yeah, I'm thinking of like playing guitar, and he was like, yeah, you should do it. And then I was kind of like, he was like my best friend, so like that confirmation, I was like, yeah, like
mm.
I'm gonna do it, like it's cool. So here I am, like known for playing guitar. So yeah,
That's dope, man. See, look, y'all, I got a little bit extra layers now. What, 20 something
Right.
years later?
Yeah. Right. There we go. Like,
Oh man, but
right.
it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm glad that you got to have, I know you've had even more multiple experiences, whether, the ups and the downs, but really that has drawn you and, shaped you. Which
Mhm.
my next question is, how did your experiences impact who you are now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when I first started guitar, I would like be playing in the bathroom and mirror, and just imagine like playing in front of like an arena, like a huge crowd. So
Mm,
that's kind of like my North Star, where I'm like to um, to be faithful to like that kid's dream. That's kind of what I aim for. So and like kind of focuses what I'm working on and stuff musically. So um, yeah, I can, I'll say that. I think more broadly, I think I was grateful to growing up to have so many different experiences,
yeah.
and I think that gave me like a nice kind of breadth of like understanding of different fields and activities and things. And I know around like finishing high school, I was getting this feeling where it's like I'm kind of naturally talented in these different areas, but I really want to like develop like a mastery in like a
Yeah.
few things. So I kind of want to dig my feet into some certain things. So um, it ended up along the way deciding like my two things are going to be like psychology and music. And like for the past like 10 years, I've just been like doubling down, getting more and more depth and like breadth in those fields. So
Mm.
mhm.
Oh wow. He said, shout out to my dude 50 Tyson, although I interviewed him on One True Story.
Hey, yeah,
Oh my goodness. Okay, Mr. Chicken and Beer. That's the brother that was here earlier. He has like 15 different accounts, but
yeah.
it's a good brother. Just in here, Jaw Logic. I see you, brother. But yeah, that's real, man. And ultimately, you the fruits of your labor have shown again from how long now you've been not only putting things out, but also been honing your skills, whether intellectually or musically. So shoot, shouts back to you, brother. Did you finish? You finished your program, right?
So I'm in the last year of it. The last year is a full-time internship. So,
Mm,
um, and it's kind of like, yeah, so I'm in a PhD program in clinical psychology. Um, so kind of similar to med school, where like their residency, excuse me, it's like a match thing. So I had to like match for this internship that I'm on right now.
yeah.
So I'm excited, grateful to be on this internship. And so this is this internship and then my dissertation. So I'm almost finished with the dissertation as well. So those are
Woof.
the final two requirements, and then that'll be done in September. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah.
dang, wow. And once
Yeah.
you do, you'll have a PhD.
Yeah. PhD. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So definitely a lot of persistence. So yeah, this
Yes.
is my seventh year in the program. So I've
Mm,
just I guess you could even say it was like 3 years for the master's, and then this is like the fourth year for the PhD. You could say that, but total is like seven. You know.
mm. There it
Yes.
is, y'all. Again, there's gonna be topics we're gonna be talking about that later on too, as well, with more of the questions. So as
Yes.
we
Yes.
continue, y'all,
Right.
um, since we talk about experiences, growing you as well as probably some experiences that did the same but had the opposite, effect.
Mm-hmm.
That was like,
Right.
maybe I shouldn't have. So name a time where a strong desire
Yes.
got you into a bad situation.
Right.
How did you handle it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I think, yeah, there have been times, this might be a curveball answer. I think there have been times, like a habit of when wanting like love, or wanting like someone to like me. that I
Mm.
like put them on a pedestal. So that kind of
Mm.
strong desire of like wanting to be loved and liked, and putting someone like above me in my mind mentally, um,
Mm.
led to kind of thought patterns of me feeling like I'm not enough,
Mm.
and like that I'm beneath or below, and that affected, my self-esteem. So I had to do a lot of growing, like in terms of like self-affirmations, um, and like knowing that, well, growing like in my career and like my passions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it even got to a point where I was like, even outside of those, outside of like accomplishments and stuff like that, like how can I just, love who I am just for being a person and like my personality and
Mm.
stuff like that. So I had to kind of affirm that a lot. So that was, and kind of that's well, my song like "Time to Focus on Me" was kind of me meditating and like getting all of that out and during that period.
Mm.
And so I learned a lot about myself, and even with all that work,
Yes.
when like I got kind of, when things are like better in my career and I like have a woman in my life that um, likes me and stuff like that, then it's like my self-worth just instantly like increased. So I'm like, oh well, those are the
Mm.
things that I value, and um, and I think there's good reason, I guess, or like there's, I guess, in the scope of a life, like it makes sense to value those things, but also just to affirm. But I do think I'm like in a much better place,
Yes.
in terms of my own valuing of myself. I think as well, something that was interesting that helped was when we talk about like high self-esteem or low self-esteem. So even in that, at that point, I was like, maybe it's just like, what about like just neutral, just self-esteem? Like, okay, maybe there's this thing about me. Maybe
Yes.
that is true, but okay, so what? Like, who cares? Like, I still like myself, or like, um, let's see, yeah, stuff like that. And I felt like that
Okay.
that helped me a lot too. So as I'm like kind of trying to grow and like progress in life, just having like neutral statements about myself
Mm-hmm.
helps. Because if I were having like low self esteem, then I'd want to just like, it would just be weighing on me, and I wouldn't want to move forward, and then I'd feel worse, and then
Mm.
it'd be the cycle. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Wow. So, all right, y'all, man, self-love is important, y'all. And it can be, it is a hard hill to continue to climb, especially in a world where that's not innately taught to love yourself. It's just, oh, come out here, work. Okay, you see what everybody else do. All right, learn this, learn that. It has nothing to do with learning yourself unless you really take the time to really do so and do that. So I see you, brother. So just situations where you was putting people too much on a pedestal. I see it.
Yeah, yeah.
From the self-evaluation that you got to do and explore it, which thank you for being open with us on that. um, was it worth the trouble to go through those experiences?
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, my thought was I got some good songs out of it, but
Mm.
let me see. But for my life, was it worth it? Let me see. Oh, and that's the song. Hey, hey.
Yep.
um, hmm, I think there's the aspect of like that's your journey, and like that's just the path that ended up happening.
Yeah.
I don't think at this point I'm like I'm not gonna do that again. So it's like I think there's a lot of time I could have um, been happier with myself, or like more confident, and I think
Yeah.
um, you know so yeah, I say just moving forward, even when I start to notice myself like, oh, like those same patterns of like putting someone above, it's like, You don't have to do that, and that's not even um, effective with getting someone to like you anyway. So I
Yeah.
know like an alternative path as well. So the answer is no. It was not worth it. Yeah.
It was not worth it for the time and the stress and things that it was created. But because you went through that, now you know where not to go, as well as you know what is needed to fuel and help you before you can offer that to someone else.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Again, y'all, time to focus on y'all, man.
Right.
Self
Right.
love is important. Self care for your health care,
Yeah.
all those things. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, shout out to everyone in here. If y'all have any questions too that y'all want to add during the interview, those who are here still live, please throw them in the comments. That's what this live portion of these interviews are. It's just not only me interviewing, but folks who are intrigued and wanted to learn more about the interviewee that's here. So please
Amen.
do. Uh, with that, since we got into that aspect of, the self-love and learning how not to, put so many or put people on a pedestal, especially relationship wise, and you found that now, um, and working on it continually,
Right. Right.
what are a few of your core values?
Mm, mm. Yeah. Definitely. Well, not to be cliche, but like well, definitely like faith, hope, and love. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like, but in a seriously though, like, and I think that comes out in the songs like faith, um, faith in God, as well as like hope that things can get better, even
yeah,
if they are like really dark, um, and then love, as well as I mean, of course, there's like romantic. I think there's romantic love, but then there's also just loving, each other as humans, um, and wanting everyone to be, good and like have positive well-being. Of
yes.
course, just like progress and like moving forward is a big value I have, and even in the pandemic, it felt like
Mm,
progress felt like the meaning of life for me essentially, and it was so that was a big one, like a big motivating factor, like in terms of meaning for me. Um, let's see, values, kindness is
mm.
a big one. Um, those are I would say probably the main ones. Yeah, peace, calm, but yeah. Mhm.
For sure, yeah. And with that, in the core values, tell to the folks, why is it important to have some guiding morals and values in your life?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think um, yeah, like you even say, they give you. I'll even say again, like a North Star, like something to guide you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, in life, things aren't um, always clear cut, and we have to kind
Yeah,
of come up with our own interpretations and make our own decisions. So, um, when we have these values that we can lean on, or that um, inspire us, motivate us. Um, yeah, they give us direction. They give us direction. So um, I feel like I want to take it further, but um, that's what comes to mind. Yeah, right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speak your heart, speak your mind, whatever. If
Yeah.
it's very short and succinct, it's beautiful.
Right.
If you wanna, go all out with it, again, you're here in that space and that's the time for you. So it's all good. Don't think you have to continue. You have to force anything. You know that.
Keep your pace.
Um, Patience, awareness, consistency, and empathy, y'all. Got to keep your pace.
Right.
Exactly. Oh man, you gotta flip that on me like that? All right, for
Hey,
sure, bro. Yeah,
hey,
it's all look. No, it's all good, man.
I
I
respect the
appreciate it.
platform.
Likewise, and if y'all don't know either, please again go check out the brother Chris Mallett. Like all of the stuff that he has been very dope. He was doing a thing, Harmonic Heart on YouTube. Go check out the Harmonic heart interviews on YouTube. I know he's been super busy now, and he's probably interviewed like 5 million people, so he's still trying to figure out who else. But again, there's so much content that this brother drops too, as well as even in-depth videos on the songs that he drops.
Yeah,
Tell you
yeah.
the process and how he went through stuff. Like,
Right.
come on,
Thank you.
y'all,
Thank you.
getting some sauce.
Appreciate
Mm.
it. Appreciate it. Yeah.
So with that, brother, and I think if I randomly say something wrong in the questions, don't mind me, brother. I did some random stuff I just saw, but it's all good. So for those who are getting into that magical process, I want to learn about what that magical process, may
Mhm.
be, especially if it's their
Yes.
first times or
Mhm.
just to see how other people go through it.
Yeah.
Explain your creation process with us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. And there's two main ways that I create these days, I think. But definitely starting out and throughout my time, it's kind of, I would say it started pretty much from every angle. There have been times where it was just like I started with like maybe a guitar riff, and then that inspired the rest of the song. And maybe I started with a melody line, and then that I like came up with lyrics from there, and
Mm,
then the chords and instruments, or excuse me, or maybe it just started with lyrics, and then coming up with like the chords for that. I would say um, I'm gonna pause really quick, and then I'll because I just remembered I
yes, you're
also want
good.
to shout out. I want to shout out my first album.
Yes.
My friend, my friend Chris Hernandez, he helped me produce it. So the same guy that um, we were in the garage band together. I like played 2 songs for him, performed them. He was like, "Yo, like I want to produce your song." So that's how the whole album actually got made. We were in that same garage from the garage band, and he engineered, produced, mixed and mastered my debut album. And he played like the drums, he played the bass on them, he played guitar and piano. Um, as you can say, additional guitar and piano, and I also play guitar and piano on there. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so he was a big part of that process, and it was like for the first album, and it was exciting to, for the first time, hear different layers to the songs I was writing. Because before it would be just like my voice and the guitar. So, and I learned a lot about production from him. So, um,
Mm,
yeah, for sure, and watching him and his process. So, yeah, these days essentially, my two processes will be either I'll write the lyrics and it'll accompany like a vocal melody, maybe even at the same time, like writing that. And then from there, I'll like put um, like chords underneath it, like piano chords, guitar chords, and then produce like drums and bass underneath that. So that'll be one
yes.
way. And that way, those tend to be the more acoustic singer songwriter, like indie pop songs. Or I might approach it the other way would be I start with the beat, um, and
Mm,
it'll be like, you know, for both of them, even still, I might say, I want to do like an upbeat piano song. I want to do like an R&B song. So then I'll like
yes.
come up with like, an upbeat piano, or I might come up with like some R&B chords. I'll put those chords down. Then I'll like produce the drums and then the bass. And then from there, I'll like freestyle a vocal melody on top of that. And then I'll like write lyrics to fit into that vocal melody. So those are kind of the two different ways I go about it. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm glad that you went and redid that shout out and or went to reiterate back on the shout out because I was gonna ask you about was most of yours, produced by yourself, when doing all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff and you
Yeah.
already went ahead and fleshed that stuff out. Which
Mm-hmm.
on top of that as well too, brother, we got got a few more comments in here. I think if I'm correct, bro, he's are you in DC or LA? You in AZ, right?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, so I'm from LA. I spent 10 years for like college and grad school in DC, and I've been in Arizona for about 5 months.
Oh dang, it's been it's not been that long?
Right, yeah. The time is like flying by already. Yeah.
Oh man. And
Mm-hmm.
it looks like we have, if again, this will be towards the end of the show, so I don't know how long the brother
Go
Chicken
ahead,
and
go
Beer
ahead.
is gonna stay in, or Chicken and Beef is gonna stay in here. But there is a request for your newest drop, "Live Out My Days,"
Oh,
to be
sure, sure.
performed.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want to perform even like a
Let me
verse
see.
for me or something, but that's
Sure,
again,
sure.
you know, later on. This is and shouts out to Chicken and Beef because again, time is something that I value and I'm grateful for it. So thank you for your time in here, and same
Yeah.
thing to you, Chris. Always thank you for your time because of the brother Chicken and Beef or Dry Logic or I Rant, all these other different ones that he has is where I came up with the idea to also let people, if they wanted to share their art towards the end. So
Nice.
shouts out to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chicken and Beef. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Mm,
Um,
boom. You already
yeah. So
you
I
hit
could
that there.
say, yeah, like the first album, he helped me produce it, and then um, in 2018, I started learning to produce, and I created this like "For the Love of Hathor" mixtape, and that mixtape
Mm.
is more spicy than people will be used to hearing from me. It's like it's more ratchet. It's steamy. It's very steamy. So I produced
Ah.
that, and then keep going. So then after I made that, I felt like, oh, I can actually like. I felt like after making not those songs, but after I finished it, I was like, oh, okay, the songs are at a level where, or the production's at a level where I can actually put this like album level production and songs. So then that's when I made the Keep Going EP.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which I want to add. Well, we're gonna get to that. So I'm gonna say what I was just about to ask you because you just had it right there, and we're gonna move now, y'all, to the portion that I didn't send you because I did it on purpose because I want your reactions on it. Is my section of fun questions for me. I
Right.
think
Yeah.
it's fun. Some other people may not think it's fun, but hey, it's a few fun questions. So I got a would you rather question for you.
Yeah.
I gotta finish this line.
Oh, okay.
I have a riddle,
All right.
which is
Sure.
you're like one of the first few folks. You're the first person
Hey.
that's gonna be getting a lot of this stuff now.
All right. It's
And
a
then
premiere. It's a premiere. Okay.
for a mirror on all of this stuff, we got to.
Yeah.
And then I have either it's a scenario or some wisdom that you would like to share with folks. But those are the four that I have for this portion.
Oh,
But
dope. Okay.
with that, everybody that's here in the chat too, y'all are more than welcome, as well as later on watching. Yes, I see y'all too, even if it's only one or two of y'all. And then maybe 5 years from now it's like another 10 or 15. Like I see y'all. But in this portion too, y'all can answer these questions as well and put them down in the chat and just save them. Just join along with us. So first thing I got for you is a would you rather question.
Yep.
Would you rather walk on water
Ooh.
but
Mm.
have to wait 2 hours to get off, or float in the air
Oh.
but have to sleep for the next 2 hours?
So would I be sleeping in the air, or would I come down and then sleep? Oh, okay. Oh man, I'd rather float in the air, man. That's dope. What? I could fly? Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, and I get to take a nap after? Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Hopefully you ain't got work and other things to end
Right.
up doing immediately. That ends up happening. I get
It's like I float to work and then I fall asleep at the desk. Like, oh.
you. It's like, oh no, I'm late. Dang, my car's not working. All right. Let's get up out of here. She's like,
Right.
what's that? It's a bird. It's a plane.
Oh,
No.
dang, right. Oh, that's Chris Mallett. That's why.
Oh man. And I'll say this too, off the cusp too, off the record for y'all too. I don't know why, but every time, brother, and I know there's like 2 times you had to correct me. This was in the past, so then I had it right. But bro, your last name, bro, every time I want to say Mallett
Oh, yeah. Because
all the
I
time.
used to go by Mallett. So you're right.
Like it's like every time. So
See,
I mean,
this is when you have people that really know you, you get exposed. You know what I mean? What is this man's name?
yo, look it. You look it. I'm gonna even say this too. I was super embarrassed. Not only,
Mm-mm.
I mean, not with the names, but then also, brother, there's other brother that Also, again, shouts out to FaZe Fair. Shouts out to him.
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely.
When I interviewed him, man, I said his name wrong the whole time
The whole time, really? Oh.
because I knew, I swear, I was like, the way it looks
Yeah.
like it says Farer. So
Phase
I kept
bar.
saying that, and it was like no reiteration until I really
Right.
listened and went back and listened to stuff, and it's like, oh, this is FaZe Fair Vic, and I'm like, I
Mm,
did the whole dang interview and done called you
uh,
Farer the whole time.
yeah.
But shouts
It
out to the
happens.
brother.
For sure. Yeah, he's cool. Cool guy.
Yes.
So
But
yeah, I mean, I could give it the short thing on that is like my dad and my granddad say Mallett, my grandma and my mom say Mallett. So I asked my granddad like, yo, so what is it? Like, how do you say it? He was like, it's your name, man. You can say it however you want.
yeah.
So I just and then people, because there was a time where I was like, oh, it's Mallett or Mallett, whatever you want. And then people want to know, like they want you to choose and like say. So then I like, so I just say Mallett now.
Okay. See
But yeah,
again.
yeah,
So we good, y'all. We good. Look at
sure.
hooked on finding to some of the stuff that was taught to us. It may come in handy, but definitely not in all situations. Um, with that, okay, floating in the air. I'm with it.
Yep.
All right, finish this line, and whichever way you want to finish it.
All right.
The journey is.
Ooh, I like it. It's unfolding.
Mm.
It's like that was a cop out answer. Let me see. Let me see. It's unfolding. It's like that's how I feel. I feel like it's unfolding, and I'm always excited to see like what's next. And then yeah, I think it's if God like has a plan for us, then it's exciting to me to see how it all plays out. Yeah.
Mm. There it is. Yeah, that was no cop out answer, bro. It's that's your answer, okay?
Right.
You
Right.
know, that's your answer. Thank you for that. All
Yeah.
right. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how this one goes. But again,
All right.
all right. So I got a riddle for you then.
Okay.
What can you keep after giving it to someone?
It's a great one. That's a great one. What can you keep after giving it to someone? Um, I may be stumped. I may be stumped on that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did take some time. And for those, I'm saying, see y'all watching this later. Don't skip forward. Don't skip
Right.
forward and then come back and be like, "Oh, I got the answer." No, right now, where you at, put
Right.
down what it is. Okay. Hey, yeah, give yourself some time. I'm gonna look at the
Right.
comments in
Yeah.
here too.
Yeah. I'll take a little
Yes.
second.
Yeah.
I
So
know it's
tell us
something
about
abstract.
Alchemic Records. Stay positive and stay away from the wildlife out there in AZ. One love, brother. Oh man. Yeah. Hey, hey. That is. You know, that is pop. Yes, yes. But that is not the answer that I have. Of course you would, brother. Of course you would put that out there. Of course.
Uh, for some reason, my comments stopped, so I'm not even seeing the new comments.
You would have to you like quickly exit, like come just go out
Oh,
of the app, but then you'll still come right back in and it will refresh it.
am I gonna leave?
Not like not like exit out, like yeah, there you go.
Okay. Playing in the garage. No, I didn't. It's not coming up. All right. So
Ah,
you're holding us
yeah.
down with the comments, but um,
Yeah. So yeah, the answer that the brother gave was an STD for
okay.
the riddle. Exactly, right?
Dang.
Exactly.
Ooh. Oh, damn.
All bad.
That's tough, right? Gosh. That's like Lawrence, right? From Insecure. Like
Mm-mm.
um
It's an answer, but it's not the one I was looking for, okay? And not wanting either, okay?
right, I don't want that. Oh man, gosh. I'll say joy.
Hmm. That's a really good answer as well too.
Thank you.
So, in this particular case, y'all, that the one that's here is your word.
Ooh, that's dope. Yeah, I respect that. Hmm.
Because words are real spells and they're very powerful, y'all.
There it is. There it is.
Say, I want my money, I won. I want my rewards card. Goofy as heck. Your wish, man. You gotta get your own rewards card. All right. Last one. Some a question to share out to everyone else and give your thoughts on it. What would you tell someone struggling, because we talked about it earlier, struggling with loving themselves?
Hmm.
How would you motivate them?
Let me see. We all okay. Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, just you for who you are, you know, is already enough. There's already value there. Um, practice the affirmations um, like for that song "Time to Focus on Me," like that first pre-chorus. I'm like, those are affirmations, and they were kind of like things I didn't really believe them at the time. Like some I did, and then some I didn't.
Mm,
But then now, like after recording the song and like hearing the back, I'm like, yeah, like why wouldn't I think that? Like, of course, those are like things about me. So, you know, yeah, definitely like affirmations. And I felt like that kind of like that neutral self-esteem too, like the neutral statements about yourself. That was a big
yeah.
unlock for me. Um,
Mm.
that kind of just helped me, kind of carried me through um, where I needed to be without like, yeah, that I don't know. I think maybe like for some people, if they're like, oh, I don't believe this affirmation right now, and that might be discouraging. So
Yeah.
it might be more believable, or you can maybe get behind better, just like some neutral statement about yourself.
Yeah.
Like maybe this thing
Example.
about me is, oh, was it?
Give an example.
Um, like I'm like going bald, so like it's like okay, yeah, like that's a fact. Like I'm not there's not. I mean, I guess I could like get some surgery or something, but it's like I'm going bald. So like one thought you could have about that is like I'm going bald. It's a ticking time bomb. Like by the time I gotta find somebody before I go all the way bald, or else no one's gonna love me. Or you could just be like, yeah, I'm going bald. True, definitely, but hey, I'm still attractive. Or even like, oh well, I like the way my head is shaped, or I like my face,
Mm.
and that's cool. So, um, and there are people that I mean, there are like people that are attracted to like bald heads as well. So, you know, I guess that type of thing where it's like, yeah, I'm going bald, but oh well, like I still like myself. I'm still a good person. Um, I'm still like yeah attractive, even though I'm losing my hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Learning how to manage the emotions and use the logic and emotions together to your advantage. So an observation, you see it, but then at the same time, what you feel, you're like, well, yeah, that can maybe that, but I'm ultimately still doing this and I'm doing that.
Right.
So, okay,
Mhm.
I'm with it.
Yep.
Again, love yourselves. All right. Work on it. And if you haven't heard nobody tell you it, please do, because you are important, you are worthy, and you are precious to this life. You have a purpose. So love yourself. Yeah.
100%. I'm with it.
I see. I listened to this audiobook that said you should envision yourself or your situation as you want it to be to attack it. And then he said, "I've been going ball since the early 20s. Player, it's all about the confidence, player." All
I
right.
love it.
Yes. 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 Yes.
That's real. Another thing is community. Once I started going bald, I was like, that guy's going bald, that guy's going bald, and that guy's bald and married. That guy's bald with kids. Um, so and I even say that to appreciate, chicken and beef for the reassurance, that it's all about the confidence. So yeah, the way you carry yourself, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, definitely even yeah, like yeah, that the like visualization that Chicken and Beef's talking about. I've done some of that too. Like I'm gonna feel so excited when I get this job. Like writing that down and then posting it where I can see it often. And then I got a job,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so excited that I got it. So,
Boom.
yeah.
There it is. On me, on me. You already know.
Hey.
Uh. And speaking of on me and time to focus on me, we're back to the regular questions, y'all. Thank y'all for the portions and sharing your answers and things. Now, next thing I got, brother, is for those who don't know, the brothers put out two at least album worths of music. One of them, which also the title in itself it confused me at first because it says the Keep Going EP, but
Right,
it's
right,
titled, as the album. But I get it could be an EP. But besides all of that being said,
right.
for those who haven't gotten to hear it, even know about it, tell us a bit about the Keep Going EP.
For sure. So yeah, in 2020, I was just working on songs, and I was kind of, well, yeah, I was just working on songs, and then I was listening to like an interview of kind of a controversial figure in hip hop. His name is Russ. Russ.
Mm,
Yeah. So he was doing an interview, and he was talking about how for his albums, he kind of just talks about, oh, and I see Chicken and Beef says, tell us about Chemical Records. I can do that. But so for the Keep Going EP, so yeah, Russ was saying the way he names his projects is like just whatever he's going through in that moment in life. So as I
mm-hmm.
was making these songs, I was thinking about, let me see, real spill. I was thinking about what I'm going through in life, and I was like, yo, the main theme and topic that comes up is keep going. So that was the phrase. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do keep going, and I knew there was another guy that I follow about like music production, and he was saying like, forget about albums, only do like EPs because they're shorter and people don't listen to full albums. So I was like, okay, like I'm working on an EP. The title's gonna be Keep Going, and it's Keep Going with music because it'll be my second project or like second official project because I put a mixtape out in between. That was a lot
Yeah.
of like covers and stuff, and then or it'll be um, keep going with like graduate school, push forward with that to finish, keep going with like finding love and like, the person that I want to end up with.
Yeah.
So keep going with like this journey of like loving myself and things like that. So it worked on just like all these different levels. So then when I had that down, then I was thinking, so once I had the concept, then I was like, okay, I have these songs. What other songs do I need to like fill in
Yes.
to have like a narrative? So then um, yeah, so then I kind of chose the songs in that way, and I had like six. So it was originally going to be five, and then I ended up with six. And I was like, okay, this project isn't really going to make sense if I don't put in the song 2 more years. So I'm like, okay, I gotta put, I gotta put that song
Mm,
in there. So then I ended up like finish writing it and producing it, and then I put that. So then that kind of like ties in the narrative, you know. So
there
that's
it
kind of
is,
yeah
y'all.
how that came out. So it's confusing the type. So I was going for like an EP. So that's why I said the Keep Going EP because like when we were coming up, 7 songs was an EP.
Yeah.
But when I put it on the streaming, they said they didn't let me name it the Keep Going EP because they said it's 7 songs. So technically now that's an album. So we can't name it the Keep Going EP. But our album artwork had on it the Keep Going
Kilo
EP. So
EP.
now it's this like confusing thing of like, is it an EP or an album? And then it's kind of like my last name. Like, which one is it? It's like, okay, but it's yeah. So technically, according to streaming platforms, it's an album. But when I was making it, I was going for an EP. And an EP is an album as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, at the end of the day, a project is a project, and
Right.
to add to the whole idea confusion, wherever to lay things out too. I looked up and heard too that if the project does not exceed 30 minutes,
Right.
that also keeps it in the criteria of it being an EP. And for those who don't know what an EP and an LP is, here we go right here. EP stands for extended play, which is basically a shorter version of what an album is. It's just extended play of songs within that short amount of time. LP stands for a long project or long play, which is basically is an album, a longer project. It makes sense. So that's what those there. Since yes, I'm the acronym dude, but I don't mean I know every single acronym. But again, that's the difference between those two, and the times can vary. But again, the track listing, I guess now is if you have a certain amount of tracks, now goes over to this is going to be considered an album.
Right.
That makes me think, bro, I need to check mine because I put the EP I put out has 7 tracks. I think
True,
if I'm
man.
correct,
True.
so I had to double check. But other than that, y'all, what else from that project did you want to share? Because then I'm gonna talk briefly on a few songs that, of course, that caught me when I did first
Yeah,
listen to it. So
definitely, definitely. Um, yeah, and you're exactly right about the difference between the EP and LP, and yeah. Let me see.
yes, he wants to hear about yes, and we'll get to the Alchemical Records for sure. We'll get that in there, as well as the saying that yeah, people's attention spans are terrible, but the EP partner with short films are the best, and you got great scenery where you are now, man, to get some good shots.
True, true. Thank you, thank you. More on the Keep On EP, I think. Oh yeah. Also, regardless of like if it's an EP or an LP, even if it were just like an EP, I still wanted it to be the second official project from me because it is a continuation of the story from the debut album. Yeah.
There it is, y'all. Speaking of tracks on there, what are some of your no, people don't like to say, okay, a favorite track or anything of that sort. But in this particular case, what is one of the songs when you were creating it that it really made you really feel at the moment? Not saying none of, not all of them did, but which one of
Right.
those ones that was very like memorable that made you really feel when you was in the process?
Yeah, definitely. I thought when I made Time to Focus on Me, I thought that was the best song I ever made at the time. And what I love about it, well, I made the instrumental, which I think is a good instrumental. Well, I think it's a great instrumental, and I also think, but specifically what I thought made it the best song is the best song I'd ever written. So,
Yeah.
Because what I loved about it was that I was able to fit in very different topics, and they're
Yeah.
all within that theme of focusing on yourself and growing. And I loved how I approached it. Those 3 different sections, and there's also like melody and rap in it, but
Yes.
also yeah, it's kind of it all really ties on that one phrase of like time to focus on me, because like even the
Yeah.
pre-chorus and the chorus, both like there's no repeated chorus or like no like same chorus 3 times. It's like each chorus is different, like the wording. So there's similar structures of it,
Yes.
but it's not the same like exact words for each chorus. So
For sure. Okay. I'm going to say for me on the project, definitely focus on me for sure. Time to focus on me. The other one that for me, surprisingly, I'm not the type of person because again, I'm not in a state right now for looking for anybody or being in any type of relationship, shape or form of that way. But I'm starting to notice that I'm starting to appreciate, folks who put out, songs of relationship and, about, making love and things of that sort. So honestly, when I heard The Night of Fire, bro, I was like, yo, wait, what? Yo,
oh,
I'm
really?
like,
Really?
like I was like, yo, wait, what? I'm like, okay. Like I was liking the instrumentation and the sound, and then just you approaching it. I'm just like, oh, okay, so this is what we going with it. But again, that's another one that caught my ear,
Mm,
as well as Perfect Summer Day.
mm.
It was
Good
another one
too.
for sure that definitely
Mm,
caught my ear. But overall, man, it's a good continuation of their story and keep
mm.
going EP. If y'all
Right.
have not checked it out, and for all those coming in, shouts out to all the family that's coming in and coming through. If y'all do not know who this is Chris Mallett, and please take some time when you can. Go check this brother out. Go follow at Chris Mallett Music on Instagram, as well as, yes, he has a YouTube. I'll be plugging all that later on YouTube, and links will be shared there. But check him out. There's a lot of stuff that you can see and get to, enjoy, or I should say, will bring you joy
Mm.
from that riddle. I'm just playing. But again, you keep the words and what's being shared. So go check the brother out.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
you've already gotten to really share and tell us about the message from the project, um, but what would you tell your listeners when listening to the project to really focus on? Not time to focus on me, but when listening to it, what is something you really want the listeners to really focus on? Because I know a lot of people, again, nowadays, mostly people be like, "Oh yeah, man, that song is cool." Like, I really only like the song because of the beat. Like, I don't really listen to the words or anything as such when it comes to the songs. So, what would be that you would want your listeners to focus on when it comes to the project?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, really, whatever you're going through in life, if you're in like down and out in whatever area, um, to take some motivation to resonate, with that, because there's like it's not like there whether that's moving forward with like yeah finding love, whether that's like school is really hard right now, work's really hard right now, whether that is yeah loving yourself. So I mean, there's like literally songs that hit on that same theme but from different angles. So yeah, I would want people to take to know that they're not alone in that, and also to feel encouraged.
Mm, mm. Y'all hear that? So keep going, EP. Y'all check that out and listen. And again, this whole getting, if y'all don't get anything else from this interview besides, again, how much passion is put into the music that Chris creates, get the message about, self love. It's coming out a lot. So please,
Yes.
y'all, please do. Oh yeah, don't mind me, man. I'm like responding back and forth in the
Oh
comments as
sure,
well
yeah.
too. With that, besides, alongside being an artist and a creator, um, and we know a few other things you talked about before, but again, can you explore what are other passions that you do outside of
Yeah.
creation in that way?
Mhm. Right. Yeah, of course, the biggest one is psychology, but what that is, caring about other people's well-being. I'm also really interested in like connecting with people and like how we
Mm-hmm.
can, feel closer and connected. So even that's a big motivation, like for my music, is to connect with other people and for other people to not feel alone and to feel okay. Um, let's see. So yeah, the well-being, connection, understanding. I would also say, yeah, like theology. I'm really passionate about that.
Mm.
Being physically active. Always trying to be physically active. So um, out here in Phoenix, going to the gym and all that. So I've been hitting the gym a little bit. Well, every day, most
Mm-hmm.
days. So um, uh, let me see. Yeah, passionate about like my friends and my family, and spending time with them, and and yeah, like dating as well, like people that I'm like with and stuff like that. I'm passionate about
Gotcha.
them like being a good partner and stuff like that.
Very well rounded. Is he low key the owner of Alchemical Records? Okay, all right. To answer that now, can you please speak on Alchemical Records? Because I forgot. Let's go ahead and let's get into that.
Yes, yes. So shout out to my friend Cynthia Gross. So um, she is a writer for Alchemical Records. I think that's how you pronounce it, Alchemical Records. So we met in DC through the DC Music Summit. So it's an annual convention, the DC Music Summit, where they hold workshops for indie artists in the DC music scene and like provide just a lot of information about music business. So in 2020, right before the shutdown, I volunteered and presented at the DC Music Summit, and I met Cynthia Gross. So she's awesome, and yeah, she's a supporter of my music, and she's awesome because she works with the DC Music Summit. She also works with the DMV Music Alliance,
Wow.
and she's a writer for Alchemical Records. She's also a singer-songwriter herself, working on her debut album. And she also, I believe, works in like marketing for higher education. So she's like a very busy person, and
Well
awesome.
rounded.
So yeah, for sure. So she had been supporting recent songs I put out, and she said, she told me, she'd like to support, some of my releases and to let her know when I put out a song. So I told her, yeah, I have this upcoming song, Live Out My Days With You. And it's, a wedding song right in time for Valentine's Day. And I sent her some background on it, and she loved it and wrote just a sweet article. And I was touched. And, as artists, we want to feel appreciated. We want to feel seen.
Yeah.
And I felt that in a deep way from reading that article. So I was very grateful. Yeah. So, yeah, it's called Alchemical Records, but I believe it's only a music publication. Like, I don't think it's a record label.
Got you.
Yeah.
There it is. Boom. Now
Yeah.
y'all got it. Now y'all know.
I think as well, I think I might have seen a question about how I've met the person that produced my first project. I met him in middle school. So we were just friends, and we were also neighbors. That's amazing. So that worked out because, who's to say I would have ever, put out an album if it weren't for that. So,
All right.
mm-hmm.
Life presents you with opportunities and experiences, and it's all up for you to take that and hold on to it
For sure.
and run with it.
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Now next question that I got, back with all the experiences that you've had up to now and all that you've gotten to experience and have done, what is one of the hardest decisions you ever had to make?
Yeah, I think this is a question you sent me beforehand, full disclosure, everybody. So I was thinking
Yes.
about it. And I was, I've been on this path for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know that my thing was necessarily making hard decisions or bad decisions. I think my thing was like you just said, like you're presented with options and you choose whatever is best for you. But then
Yeah.
after I made that decision, being okay and comfortable with it. So there was a lot of like second guessing decisions I made, whether it was a breakup, whether it was, going to grad school or like the specific program I went for grad school and stuff like that. So a lot of time are like second guessing and like wondering, did I go down the right path? Was that the right thing? So, but as I move forward in life, I even forget that I had those thoughts or like things that at the moment felt like were sacrifices. I don't even remember them now. So, yeah, just trusting in, your own decision and God's plan, for life. So, but that was like a bigger thing I think I dealt with, like kind of dealing with the decisions I did make after the fact.
So So one of your hardest decisions was you having issues with going back and forth with the decisions that you made.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right, Mr. Inception over
I
here.
know. Right. We get
The
meta. We get meta.
answerception. Like, man, like I think about the questions that I thought about that I thought I think about those questions I thought. You know?
Right. Exactly. You feel me, man. You feel me.
Oh, look it. And this is a exclusive treat for y'all too. Is I've had an idea of doing skits, and actually that was going to be one of my first skits.
Really?
Was about metacognition and thinking about
Oh,
what you're thinking of your thoughts that you're thinking,
yeah.
and try to make it
Uh,
somewhat funny. But of
right.
course,
Right.
get the repetition of keep saying it is going to be all right, bros. Just stop. But
Hey,
a little
man.
small
Yeah.
treat there that y'all get.
Nice. Right.
But okay, with that, what pushed you to go through with making that decision, and how did it turn out?
Yeah. So, um, I can say, all right. So, because you always have an option, like,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah. It's good. It's a good interview. I mean, I get a little, there are little moments where I'm like, I could get emotional. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Mm,
So let me see. I think what pushed me for. So I think sometimes the option is like,
mm,
okay, it's like, let's say you, okay, for example, okay, so you get into, let's say you get into one graduate school program. You could
yeah.
either not go to the grad school program, or you go into the one that you get into, which you would love to, be in it, but that is the one that you're accepted into. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, even if you're not choosing between different options, it's like
Yes.
everything is like, so then it's like, okay, it's kind of, the decision could be made for you in a way, like by the circumstances. But you could also always choose like, well, I'm just not gonna go. I could wait a year and then apply again. So I decided to, just go ahead and move forward with that. And I'm very grateful I did. I think
Mm,
my even when you're in it, especially a PhD program, it's very common that people are like, I hate this, I should quit. And what kept me going all the time was remembering why I started, and that was to, do therapy with kids and, teenagers and their family, and to do
yes.
research. So, always
Mm,
remembering my why
yes.
was important. So I think as well, um, with like a breakup, I guess, it was like, okay, this person, it's like long distance. So this person is very far away.
Mm,
So, and it's not working. So even though, I care a lot about this person, um, when we're away, it's not working, and it's like there's unhappiness. So, um, even though I'm like gonna miss the person,
yeah.
you're already apart. So you kind of just have to deal with that anyway, and you got to move on, I guess. So yeah.
Mm, mm. Strong words, y'all. I'm the answerception of the answerceptions for y'all. But still, nah, I appreciate your openness and your willingness to, share that with us,
Thank
because
you.
again, yeah, a lot of this stuff can be tough. You never know, what may come up and might, not just say the word trigger, but that would
Yeah.
elicit, different
Right.
responses that you were like, oh, wow,
Mm-hmm.
didn't even think of. It's all good. Sit in that moment, feel it. Just know that you alive because you feeling that.
That's real. That's
And
real.
just,
And yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate that deeply. And yeah, I mean, I'm discovering that. Yeah, those were things that I cared a lot about, and that's a beautiful thing. So that's reminding me of
mm,
that as well. That
awesome.
those stuff. So yeah,
All right, another cool question we got in the comments again. Do you have a studio in your house?
I have a setup. Um, And right now I have a video on my YouTube explaining my setup. Um, yeah, so it's going to be better quality if you watch that. But for the sake of this, I can say I have like these headphones. I have the Focusrite interface here.
Okay.
I have let me see. I mean, just a laptop. Okay. This MIDI keyboard, and let me see the microphone I use. It's actually it's actually a $30 microphone. So, hey, you know.
Hey, honestly, if you look it, I tell people this, and shouts out to you too.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying, look, it's all about shout outs, y'all. I just keep saying it. It's the key word for today's shout outs. But when it comes to just recording and getting a mixing things down,
Mm-hmm.
people think it's very heavily based on the plugins and how you mix and do all of that. No, if you can get yourself a quality recording just
Right.
through the mic, either if it's dry, if you add more, other outside things in your room to affect the vocal,
Mm-hmm.
you just need a clean vocal. Because if you have a boo boo vocal recording, there's no way that you can, as much with your mic, try to mix and fix that up. You got to have a clear recording for that to even push through.
Exactly. That's facts. And even, getting the clean recording. And a big thing I had to learn was like the importance of gain staging. So that's like setting the level on my interface of like how much input is going in.
Yeah.
So that was a big game changer. And it's really, like the position of the microphone, how far you are away from it, and like the gain staging, those all, and like you were saying, A.D.V.I.S.S of like how you proof the room, that all goes into like getting a clean recording, regardless of if it's a $30 mic or a $1,000 mic. So,
Yes. And to reiterate, or I should say clarify, chicken and beef mint, did your friend, did he end up having a studio where the one he produced, did he have a studio?
Nice. Let's see. So he had essentially the same. It wasn't the same like brands and stuff, but he had essentially the same equipment. We were in his garage. He created like a booth that we recorded the vocals in. Like he created some panels with cloth around it, and I recorded there the vocals. He had a better mic than a $30 mic, and it was in his garage, his home garage. I'm trying to think. I mean, he has amps, he has a bass, he has both like a live drum kit. So he also has this like electronic drum pad where he was able to like actually, it's like you're playing the drums, but it's like MIDI. So that's what we recorded those drums on.
The villain is dope, bro.
Thank you. Right. So the villain, that is actually Esteban on the guitar. Shout out to him. Yeah, I love that song. Chris Hernandez, his now wife, is like singing. She's the female vocal on it. And Chris is playing like the drums. I forgot who's playing the bass on it. I love that song. That was a meaningful song. I actually like wrote it. So I wrote both my perspective and the female perspective as well. So yeah. So it was cool to hear that kind of
fire.
Hear the other voice singing it.
Yeah. The other question we got in here, and then I am going to end it with the last two we have here, because I mean, again, this thing will go on and on, but of course, I love and appreciate again your time and sitting down and being able to join us for more interviews, my brother.
Yes.
So another crowd question we got is: would you perform for your clients or create activities around being creative?
I had one kid, and he loved to sing, and he was in a choir. So we listened to some songs together, and we sang a couple songs together. I think I tend to be what we call like child centered, and that's kind of that means when you're in the therapy room, you're going with essentially what the kid wants. Like I'm not gonna impose like I love music and I'm a musician, so you have to. If you're in therapy with me, you gotta do music.
Mm-hmm.
So I've tried where like there was a kid, and one of the techniques in like cognitive behavior therapy is cognitive
Mm-hmm.
restructuring and like doing affirmations. So I like wrote a little like verse for him to sing, and he couldn't remember it, and he didn't really like it. So I was like, we gave it a try, but it doesn't work for everybody, or
Yeah.
it doesn't interest everyone. So um, there's interesting studies on it. Some people use music as like, people just love listening to music. So some people if you let's say they have a teenage client and they have this song on repeat, so you can ask them like, you've been feeling down, and when you're down, you listen to this song. What themes of this song come out for you that are really relevant, and having a conversation to help them express themselves.
Yeah.
There's also like um, kind of therapy groups that incorporate like the hip hop ciphers. So people like write out um, verses. Like let's say that the theme of the day is like abandonment, and then they spend like the first 15 minutes writing a verse about a time they felt abandoned, and then at the end they all come together in a circle, and there's a beat going, and then everybody takes turns like rapping their verse.
Mm.
So there's different things you can do. I'm still kind of reluctant. I'm still kind of trying to keep a separation.
Yeah.
One, because I do love it so much, and I don't want to kind of project my passion onto them. So it helps me to kind of keep it separate right now. But I think in the future, it's something I'm interested in.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Music therapy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll see, y'all. But with that, y'all, one of the main questions I had on the flyers that I like to always do, and they're going to be in there. So my question I have for you, brother, is what are your thoughts? And I'm gonna start with the first half of it, and then we'll do the second half. So, what are your thoughts on happiness?
Happiness. Good question. I think I have a lot of thoughts about it. I think
Yes.
I think it's something I strive for. I think I can also say this like so there are times especially like early in graduate school where I would do something musical, like I'd perform at an open mic, and I would feel
Yeah.
like it'd feel like exhilarating, and it was passion.
Yes.
But then I would like you know pass like my master's thesis defense, and then it would feel just like deeply gratifying and rewarding.
Yeah.
So I think about kind of that mix of like feeling like the deep gratitude and like rewarding, like this is very meaningful in terms of society, and
Yes.
then like kind of moments of feeling exhilarated, but then there's also like I come down from it as well. And so I
Hmm.
think I tend to I appreciate having both in my life,
Yeah.
but the maybe the more quiet kind of delayed gratification, um, the rewarding aspect, I think I guess you need both. I'm thinking out loud because it's like I
You're
was gonna
good.
say
Yeah.
that I was gonna say like the slow delayed gratification can be more rewarding, however, or like more important. But those moments of like exhilaration at times have like given my life meaning and like encouraged me to keep going with that like slower process. Um,
Yeah.
so I think I guess having both. And I think even the way that I think when you ask me that question, I think you're meaning like overall, I got an overall happy life. So I think about, so for that, I guess I think about, um, yeah, having in these different areas, like kind of having a well-rounded life. So that's something I definitely strive for.
Oh yeah. Again, this is however you want to approach and answer the question, brother. It's look, you're not being tested, you're
I
not
know.
being quizzed. You good, brother. It's again
Oh
coming
my
from your heart,
gosh.
your mind, and your soul, and that's really what I'm I'm grateful for even taking the time to even attempt to even say and even talk. So that's why I'm grateful. So for those who were like, okay, wait, where are you going with this? Basically, you're saying ended up. So those little small moments in life that you have are also very important. That do bring that much joy to you. And at the same time, even the slow process of you waiting out to experience that joy too at the same time is also needed. So basically being able to, depending on situation and experience, that will bring that happiness, or in this case, find some way to build on your fulfillment. Is where he's going with it, y'all. Okay.
Exactly,
This
exactly.
this this brother this brother is very eloquent and loves to again get deep into the thinking of the thinking of the thinking of the question. He not gonna just give you the straight to the answer all the time. He gonna give you the left side, the right side, the up and the down. Okay, y'all.
Right, right.
Yeah. See, the
Yeah.
brother said 100 exactly. No, exactly. It's truth. His truth, not truth to
Definitely.
what I'm saying, but what you
No.
just had expressed.
No.
But okay, thank you for that. The second one then, and y'all be ready to listen in your ears. The second one on that one is what are your thoughts on perseverance? Because again, we've had a lot of the questions very tailored to not only self-love, but also like, doing things to again bring yourself joy and pushing hard for being again in a program's been 7 years now, living in a different place for 10, and just like all the experience that you have, and there being times that you want to give up and quit. What are your thoughts on perseverance?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think, I think our lives are set up for us to continue to like push through challenges so that we can
Yes.
feel like gratified, so that at the end of our lives, we feel like we did something meaningful. So if we kind of sit back and we chill and we sit on our butts and don't do anything, our life's literally gonna like, and it's so easy, and we don't do anything that challenges us.
Yes.
We won't feel gratified at the end, and we'll feel sick to our stomachs and like have regret of like, what did I really do during this life? So I think doing things that challenge us is required in life, and continuing to um, improve and like persevere, essentially, um, is like essentially a requirement to having a fulfilling life. Yeah.
Mm. So keep going. If y'all don't know, the EP, keep going.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. And again, got the last question now for today's and tonight's interview. And again, I'm gonna reiterate it. Thank you, brother, for your time. Thank you to everyone in the chat and who has came through, who's either shared questions as well as answered the questions back too. And I'm still looking at y'all back in YouTube. I saw you, Dog Man 95 go and skip past and go and try to get the answer to that riddle. I saw you do that, but next time, take your time and really do it. But besides all the goofiness, I love to end this question off every time to get people's again thoughts on it, and shouts out always again. Shouts out is the word to Busy Balboa and the Get to Know Me podcast. If y'all also want to get featured and get questions and things sent and get interviewed, go speak with the sister at Get to Know Me podcast. But she inspired this last question for me because she would have a question that talks about, would you do it for the passion or the pesos? And I always thought I thought that was really dope when she asked that. So my question to you before we end it out is, when it comes to life, your relationships, work, and all that it encompasses, Is it the quality or quantity?
It's the quality. It's the quality for sure. Yeah. Hmm.
Mm. And why do you say that?
Yeah. Um, I'm introverted as well, so that's kind of a common characteristics of like introverts is like having, maybe a few close friends that maybe you guys really like connect on. Um, I also like um, I feel like I'm about to sound like uh, an arrogant person, but I like nice things, I guess. But I'm,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, I'm a grad student, so it's not like I'm like out here balling or anything like that. But yeah, I think um, quality, I suppose, and as you can tell from my music, it's all about like depth um, and nuance.
Yeah.
So I think with like quality relationships and people in your life that takes work and takes sitting in difficult emotions, and it's not easy. So being able to have quality relationships, you have to like build on those. So, but there's more. There's I think great fulfillment in that.
Mm. There it is, y'all. Quality. It's the quality.
Quality.
But with that, y'all, before we end out, Chris, you're still more than welcome to, if you wanted to perform a piece from, the requested song, which was "Live Out My Life" with. If you want to perform that, as well as any last thoughts or messages that you would like to pass on to people, as well as plug all your things, and then we'll end it for the interview for tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'll say yeah. Thanks, everybody that's participating in the chat and just engaging. I saw yeah, chicken and beef. I appreciate it. Yeah, the compliments on live out my days with you. Um, and A.D.V.I.S.S, it's cool that you like to ignite a fire as well. So I think when I put out the mixtape and it was spicy, I
Yeah,
didn't. I don't think a lot of people heard it. So some people that were close to me heard it, and they were very
yeah.
shocked, understandably, by the content. um,
Well, look at all right. I'm not gonna lie. Where can I find it?
um, let's see, Dat Piff. I mean, I might have taken it down, but you can search Dat Piff for the love of Hathor. But I also say
Mm,
I feel like that was like an end of a spectrum. It was like the first album, and
yes.
that mixtape was like an end of a spectrum. So then like Ignite a Fire was kind of in the middle, in a place where I felt more comfortable. So I appreciate hearing that because that is a side that I want to express more in my music. So it's cool that you liked it. And that song I also thought was special because there's like sensuality, but then there's
Yeah.
also like kind of a quintessential like Chris Mallett like sentimentality to it as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, so yeah, final words. I'll say, yeah, please, follow me, Chris Mallett Music on Instagram, my YouTube as well. I value my YouTube, like Addis was saying. There's like the long breakdowns of like songs, so I love sharing that process with you guys. So check that out. Follow on Instagram. Um, and I listen to the music on Spotify and all your streaming platforms. So Mallett is spelled Mallett, Chris Mallett. And of course, yeah, thank you, A.D.V.I.S.S, for having me on this awesome platform. The more interviews and taking the time, listening deeply, asking thoughtful questions, and us getting to reminisce and talk deeply about my story. So that's very much appreciated.
Mhm.
So thank you.
You already know.
All right.
Um, But
Oh
with
yeah,
that, would you
yeah.
like to perform, my brother?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing.
And it's all good. This is an option, so
Maybe it'll be a cappella because I don't have the instrumental pulled up.
okay.
Okay, because yeah, I'm trying to think of like how I could even do that, but it would take too long. So I can do it a cappella. um, um,
Uh-oh, uh-oh. I want to get a snack anyways. Oh my goodness, bro. Go handle that. Ah, we got the circle. The circle of refreshing. Dramatic pause. Yeah, y'all was like, hold on. This is too funny. But let's see where this will turn out, y'all. That means he about to kill it, boy. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. We will see, y'all. Dang. We back? Ah, y'all. This is a nail biter right now. If we can get it, we can get it. If not, y'all, I'm definitely gonna call it. Ah, let's see. Did it end on y'all's end? Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, because he had lagged out for a quick second. Let's see, y'all, to get him back up in here. I'll pop this up there. Let me go ahead. After this is gonna be no more interviews. I was waiting for somebody to do that, and of course you would be the first person too. I was waiting. I was waiting for somebody to add that in there. It'd be like no more interviews. Very funny. Y'all some comedians up in here. Y'all are some comedians for sure. Ah, but let's see. I think the brother ended up having internet drop. So we will see. I'm just playing some stuff of his in the background. If we can't get to it, then again, we're gonna end out the interview. And like the brother in here, shouts out to MC0. There'll be no more interviews for tonight. So we will definitely see what's the deal. Ah, but yeah, y'all. Thank y'all for joining though. It's much appreciated, and I'm grateful. Yo, add play rise by. We're not. This is not the stream to do that, bro. It's not the stream. This is specifically for the interviewee. So anything that has to do with the interviewee, that's how we're going to go about it. But just because, and if he comes back, he'll come back on it. But what I'm going to do at this point right now, because I don't want it to run too long, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna end out for tonight's interview. And again, I'm grateful for Chris Mallett for coming through. Thank you to everyone in the chat for sharing and giving out thoughtful and also funny responses and questions. But as you usually do, when it comes to ending out this, thank y'all for another installment of More Interviews, aka Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. And with that, y'all don't forget to continue to write your memoirs and experiences to keep growing and sharing your life. Well, with that, y'all, that's tonight's interview. We'll catch y'all on another More Interviews next time. So thank y'all for coming through. Much love from your brother A.D.V.I.S.S as well as from Chris Mallett. We are out. Peace.